Brad, I know you've liked the way the team has looked in the recent road games, but just haven't gotten much in the way of results. What's it going to take to get over that line?
Yeah, pretty much the same business as prior to that. Close in Orlando, close in Sporting KC, close the other night in Galaxy, who come away with a point. But yeah, when you're training in the right way, just how we feel behind closed doors and how we quantify what we are doing. I think we're training in the right way. We're getting guys back. There's competition for places. There's good energy. And there's a lot of competition around. So that's good. I think that can all equate to a very good outcome. Now it's easy speaking about it. Now we just have to find ways to do it. So we knew we had a tough away stretch with 2 home games and 4 away. We're getting over that hump now. Now it's 3-3, right? So after the next game is going to be 3-2 in our favor at home. So we're just trying to manage and get through all these 3 games a week schedules. And listen, we have to for sure start getting 3 points and getting more points on the board as we do. That's our desire, that's our passion and our hunger. So nothing's changed from the day to day.
Everybody I guess Rasmus appears to be out, but then everybody in good shape for Saturday?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, I think besides Sam, obviously with the suspension, but I think everyone's looking really good. Yeah, so that's why we've kept the training methods really hungry and competitive this week, just to keep the energy really up. So yeah.
We don't have microphones.
Santi, come on.
Bradley, so Houston was here 3 months ago, and in terms of results, they are in better form now. What have you seen from them in the last 3 months?
Yeah, listen, I've seen them, within their style of play. They have some edgy customers as well. They win a lot of their tackles. They're very combative. They're very technical. They're pretty good in possession, pretty good in transition too, with Basti and Hector Herrera, Corey Baird running the line. So, they have some weapons. So, yeah, how do we counter that? Just be us, right? Because I think those are a lot of our weapons too. So, yeah, we enjoyed the first matchup, and we have to be mentally and physically prepared for that type of a game again. So, I think that's what's changed with them. They've managed to get a string of results. They've kept clean sheets, number 1 in the league for that as well. So, yeah, I admire what they are doing, what Ben is doing. I like Ben as a coach and a person. So, yes, while we're rivals, I acknowledge good work too. So, yeah.
Go ahead, Matt.
Coach, Anthony Marcanic last week at left back, was it matchup based that you look to carry forward maybe with him this week, or is it entirely different opponent to opponent?
No, I think Anthony's done really well, right? I think he's given us another added dimension in our sort of outside back, wing back type of role, right? It's natural for him to go up the left-hand side and get an early cross in. It's natural for him to, he's got the legs and dynamic sort of endurance to run the line. So that's basically where we are now in terms of, with getting guys back and sort of how we want to attack, whether it's central or wide areas and what type of service we're looking for, right? So, yeah, some teams play with inverted wingers. We use Anthony almost as a winger at times. So, yeah, listen, he's done well.
It seemed like when the period between Klaus going out and coming back with Kyle in the left back role, more defensive-minded, where it would often shift to a 3 center back look. Is there anything to that where Klaus does better receiving service from a fullback, and so that plays into his benefit?
No, I think whether we play 2 strikers or 1, obviously we try and create spaces for the strikers. We try and create spaces how we get there, whether it's central through center backs, whether it's, on the wider areas. So, yeah, I think we've found ways and multiple ways to penetrate opponents, to get through the lines of, the defensive structure of the other team. So whether we have to break the first line or whether we have to break 2 lines with 1 pass. And how we go about that. Do we need to lure out the opponent and play through them, or do we go straight through them and play off a second ball, or, a little bit more vertical direct? So that type of thing, I think we've explored or created a bunch of opportunities in every single way. One of my best moments this weekend wasn't an against the ball moment, it was with the ball moment, where I build up a goal kick where we slice through the lines of Galaxy and go all the way through the other side. It was just a fun moment to see, we can do that. We've had a look, we've done it at Colorado. So we've been able to break teams down with possession. We've been able to break teams down in transition. So yeah, listen, I'm really happy with the output that we've given.
We'll go with John Lupo.
Bradley, excuse me, with Joel coming back, I know you probably just want to manage his minutes and ease him back in there, but as you mentioned, the schedule is 3 matches a week. Do you feel like, in the context of what you see and what he can manage right now, do you feel like, obviously, with his natural talent and the way he can play for you guys up front and attack, do you feel like it's almost like getting a new player back to be able to help you navigate and manage what he can coming back from his injury? Do you feel like it's like getting a new player back that can sort of freshen up the squad as you do have all of these matches?
Sure. John, I think it's a great question. And I said it to the staff yesterday, Klaus feels like a new signing. Just his energy, the way he holds people accountable in training, and the way he goes about his business in training. He works really hard. And in the game, he prior to his injury, he had one of the biggest sprint distances in our group. So, he doesn't look like it, but he doesn't cover the most ground. But when he's in the action and he stays in the action, he clocks up a lot of volume. And we've seen some really good things in the Galaxy game. We've seen some great things now, again, in training. He's fit, he's healthy, he's strong. So I'm not too worried at him, turning back around. When you think about a Saturday, Wednesday game, I think we can turn around guys, and play the same squad if needed. If there's 1 or 2 things going on, we need to change our style of play or change the complexion of our team, we can do that too. So I'm not worried about the 2 games coming up. Then it becomes tricky on the 3rd game, and you see how you manage that. But again, there's 6 points on the board in 2 games and 3 points with the very next one, and that's where we'll start, game planning.
Anybody else here?
Go ahead.
A question about Houston. They've got a host of players who are 1 card away from suspension. Do you see that, and does that play into maybe your willingness to be a little more attacking minded and trying to draw some of those fouls that they might not be willing
No.
to give?
I mean, we were very well aware of Ricky Puig on a 4th yellow card, and the way we played. Yeah, listen, it didn't. We just continued to do what we do, right? I don't think there's any. I think you saw a very attacking, positive, brave performance from our boys, and I expect the same type of game. I expect the same type of result. I expect the same type of dominance, because I feel we are starting to put a stamp on our style of play. We're starting to put a stamp on our team. Which is tough to play against, and that's all I want to see, regardless of outcome. I want to see those type of sort of ingredients to our game.
Well, not even counting the Galaxy game, because with the man down, it's a different situation. But are you concerned about the late goals that you guys allowed in the last 15 minutes or so of the game? It seems like there's been a consistent.
No, I mean, yes and no, because I speak about perspective a lot to myself when I look at the mirror every morning and think, where we are, what we were touted to be, where we are right now, and how it's gone, and where we still are. So again, call it speed bumps, call it teething problems, call it whatever. For sure, I don't like that. And some teams concede, early. Some teams concede before halftime, just after halftime. So yeah, we've conceded a few goals within that last 10 minutes. I was really happy with the team that we, from the 89th to the 99th minute, man down, didn't concede a shot on target. We didn't concede 1 shot. So that's what I'm really happy about. A man down and not giving up a chance in 10 minutes of play. From 89 to 99 minutes, I was really happy with our performance.
We haven't seen you since the birth. How's fatherhood treating you?
It's good. It's been fun. I think it definitely changes your life very fast. So there is a little bit of an adjustment period, but it's been really good.
Rory been well behaved?
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
How's it changing? I mean, are you sleeping well? Are you feel bad about leaving home and leaving Kelsey?
Yeah, we have some family in town helping us out at the moment, but yeah, sleep is something that for us is very important. So there are days where I might not be able to help as much as I want to because I need to recover and get that sleep. But overall, I'm trying to be a good husband too.
Does he have red hair?
No, not yet. Hopefully it's coming in, yeah.
On the soccer front, what did you take away from the last half hour, 40 minutes with extra time against the Galaxy on Sunday?
Yeah, I think obviously a big part of me wishes that we would have gotten the 3 points there. I think it was unfortunate, the handball call, which obviously leads to some momentum for them early on in the second half. And then it just gives them a little bit of momentum, a little bit of hope, where I think that we kind of had them on the ropes. But yeah, I think overall, when you look at going down a man for that long against a team that makes the field that big and throws numbers forward and holds onto the ball really well, I think we defended them very well. Unfortunate, like I said, to give up the penalty and then a set-piece goal. But when we looked at numbers and chances created in that second half down a man, we defended really well as a team.
How do you walk away from a game like that where you can look at it from an open play perspective, and the run of play you didn't concede anything, and then you concede set pieces? Does that give you more lessons learned, or do you take away positives from that?
A little bit of both, for sure. I think personally, I look at it as a positive in terms of in terms of the open play, just because we are able to limit a team that really does create a lot of chances. They're really good on the ball. They have a lot of good attacking pieces. But then from set pieces, it's little details. It's little details that we have to continue to get right and continue to force guys to continue to think about throughout the game. So it's not turning off in moments. It's always kind of, and it comes from everyone. It's everyone keeping each other accountable. So it's not just on one guy.
And you've now had a little over 90 minutes with Joachim Nilsson. How is your play style impacted by his presence? Just what are your thoughts on that relationship compared to some of the other center backs on the team that you've played with?
Yeah, it's really good to get game time with him. I think he's been in training for a while now, but in the game it's always different. So getting comfortable with him in moments, defending, he reads the game really well. So for me and him, it's kind of about covering each other, but knowing that kind of we're able to read the game in a similar way. And then on the ball, having a left-footed center back playing in that left-footed spot does open up a lot of the play that we can produce. So his ability to pass the ball and break the lines is going to be big for us.
Jen?
Do you find yourself adjusting your play or needing to adjust your play for your partner center back? Like Nilsson might play a little different from Josh, or maybe when even Kyle Hebert's gone in that position?
Yes, maybe a little bit, but overall, it's little tweaks. Nothing major, I wouldn't say, because at the end of the day, it's kind of, we expect the same thing from a lot of the center backs in terms of how we want to play versus the opponent, in terms of how we want to break them down. Playing simple for us center backs is really the biggest thing. And if we can do that cleanly and do that well, and then obviously being brave and defending is going to be big as well.
Santi?
Tim, you guys played Houston once already here at City Park, but going back to Houston, is that going to be special for you?
Yeah. It'll be nice. I think it'll be good to go back there, see some of the guys, see some of the staff that I was familiar with. But yeah, it is also a business trip as well.
Tom? Really, this is your first time back to Houston since you moved here, since January or December?
Yes. Yeah, this will be my first time back.
When we were in D.C., you said, I was asking about the rest of the season. You said, well, at some point MLS is going to MLS.
Yeah.
And is that one of these times right now with not getting the results, you hit kind of a wall?
Yeah, I think I said something the other day to a group of the guys. You find yourself in situations now that can really set you up for the rest of the year. So it's great to be in first place up to this point, and it's how can we react in the next couple of games to kind of continue to set ourselves up for success. Because MLS is going to continue to create lots of chaos over the next couple of weeks. There's 6 games left, but playoff positions are everyone's in the playoff hunt still, so no one's been eliminated as far as I know. But yeah, so all is there for guys to grab.
How have you felt about the past, the previous 2 road games, or 3 road games if you go back to Orlando?
Yeah, so Orlando I missed.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously against Kansas City and LA, I think we put out a really good product, and we're a little bit hurt by not being able to get the results, but it's hard to get the results in general on the road in MLS, and especially towards the end of the year, where teams are really trying to, like I said, make pushes and make playoff push. So for us, it's trying to continue to be as clean as we can, continue to buy into what we want to do as a team and as a system, and I think that that's the way we can kind of get results on the road.
Anybody else? Matt?
from a viewing perspective, it seems like there have been some discussions about handballs, and I'm curious how
Just from a viewing perspective?
well, and from your perspective too. But what I'm curious about is how does that change your defending or your style? Just seeing maybe some of the discrepancies, the differences in how they're called. Does that play into the way you defend at all?
No, because to be completely honest, you never know what the MLS refs are going to give or what you're going to get. So you really can't change how you're going to defend. For a while now, I've been told to not put my hands behind my back in certain instances, just because it can throw you off balance. So for me, if a ball pops up and hits my hand, it's just unlucky. I really can't think too much about it, and you never know. Maybe if it does pop up and hit your hand, you don't get the call. So
When you watch MLS games and you see other ones, you say, well, that's a handball, that's not a handball, and are you right?
sometimes,
Yeah.
you really never know. You never know. So hopefully it's something that we can get a little bit more consistency on. That's what we've always kind of preached to the refs in the beginning of the year when we have the meetings, is we want consistency on these things, and it's something that we're just lacking at the moment, I think.